Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Up Your Alley. It's a podcast with two best friends. That's me. My name is Taylor Edgar, and with me, as always, is my best friend, Jake Baggett. Say hi, Jake.
Hey, buddy.
We recommend things to each other, and we come back the next week to talk about them, and we give them a score between 1 and 3 based on how much that recommendation was up our individual alleys. This week, Jake is fighting for his life, and he has recommended to me the 2004 independent psychological science fiction film.
Wow.
From, and I just think this is...
Straight up just a time travel movie.
It's a time travel movie, yeah, but it was directed, written, produced, and starring Shane Carruth as the film Primer, and I recommended to Jake the compilation of 8 issues put into a nice, gorgeous hardback.
Very true.
By Charles Soule and Ryan Browne. That is 8 Billion Genies. So Jake's trying to come from behind. He has 54 points. I'm still in the lead with 55 points.
Aye.
We're going to get into it, but first, we got some catching up to do.
Yeah, buddy.
Jake, well, I've been stalking you on the PlayStation thing. I always like to see what you're playing.
Go ahead, buddy.
You're playing a game that I've had questions about since it got released, and I started seeing people play it on Twitch. Also, if you want to see us play things on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/fishtankindustries. Nice little plug there. So, you're playing Baldur's Gate 3.
Yes, sir.
So, I know nothing of the Baldur's Gate games other than that there have been 3 of them, I reckon.
Yes.
And I thought it was kind of a thing just in my head, thinking it was kind of like an Elder Scrolls thing.
Almost. It's a fantasy setting.
Yeah, fantasy settings,
yeah.
but I didn't know it was as much of just, it's a Dungeons & Dragons simulator, essentially, yeah?
It plays off the Dungeons & Dragons rule book.
All right.
How to
sell it to me.
How everything works. I think you would actually enjoy this game.
Okay.
It's a little more tactical than like your Diablo that you've been playing or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
But this is the next logical step for you in your RPG evolution.
I actually have a tactical game that I want to talk to you about later. Bit of sizzle for next week.
Exciting.
Yeah.
So it's just you create a character, you choose a pre-character, and...
Real quick, I ask you with everything else, do I have to know what happened in the others?
No.
Or so it's just a
Baldur's
thing?
Gate is just a place.
Okay.
And that's just like what the game's named after. It's named after the place Baldur's Gate.
You create your character.
You can,
Yeah.
or you can do a preset if you want, a character that's already a character.
Okay.
That's what I did. I chose Will, who's a warlock, and he's
out.
got one eye. And
Of course.
I'm playing him as a guy who's like wants to do the right thing for everybody, but if you piss him off, he's gonna probably kill you. So you can just do shit like that. It's really fun.
So what's
There's a part in the game where you're going through the forest and a squirrel comes up to you and it says like the squirrel's angry, and he's like, you can tell that it's saying that this is its territory.
Wait, is that like
It's just something
the
that
game
happens.
tells you that you can tell that
you enter an interaction, kind of like Mass Effect, where it just takes over and now you're in a conversation.
So is the game like your dungeon master? Just
no, the dungeon master already made this game, so you are just a player in it.
But the
and
game
you can play with your friends.
It has like a narration. Going
Yeah, it has a
above
narrator
Okay.
that's telling you what's going on and stuff.
All right.
So the narrator, since I can't speak with animals, but I have animal handling, that's pretty good. I can sense.
I've always said that about you, Jake.
I have so I can sense what the animal's trying to tell me, and my senses are telling me it's mad that I'm on its territory, and I could be like, "Look, I'm just passing through," or I'm maybe like, "I'm just gonna kick the shit out of you," and then you roll to see if you kick the hell out of it, and then if you beat what the what the number is, you kick the shit out of it.
What do you have to roll to kick a squirrel?
I don't know, strength, I guess.
Well, I mean, like, what number do you have?
You have to roll a d20, and then you have to get it above a 5, I think it was, or maybe a 10.
Jesus.
And then you just height.
Wait, you actually kicked the squirrel?
Yeah, no, I didn't. You can. I said, look, I'm just passing through, buddy.
You were
And
nice to the
I used
squirrel.
persuasion. Mine was persuasion, so it's a charisma check.
All right.
But I also have animal handling, so that was a +2
Right.
to my roll as well.
It checks out.
So I just whoop, and then it said, oh, yep, it worked. And then the squirrel's like, all right, but I'm watching you. I'm like, okay,
So
thank you.
when you roll,
But you can do...
is it like a
Basically-
skill game? Do you have to like tap at a certain time to roll higher, or is it just completely
No,
random?
it's just a roll. Just press triangle,
Oh, okay.
you roll it, you
'Cause I
roll a
would get
d20,
in-
and then you find out, it puts on the modifiers that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're stupid and you're doing an intelligence check, you'll have like a -1. It's because you're stupid, so you're not.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that you're not going to get it, you know. So that's kind of fun. And you can do basically anything that you want. There's a big hole in the ground, but nobody can jump across it. But you have a reduce spell, so you make somebody really small, and you make your barbarian pick them up and then throw them across the chasm.
Jesus.
Totally works.
Have you ever run into anything thus? How many hours do you think?
I've got about 10 hours, maybe 12 into it, so I'm not far at all.
Have you come across anything where you're just like, I wish I could do this, or but the game won't let you, or is it pretty wide open?
It's pretty wide open.
Really?
Yeah. It's kind of just like, you have a problem that you need to solve.
Mm-hmm.
You have a tadpole in your eye. You got to find out how to get that tadpole out.
Like you do.
And everybody's telling you something different. Everybody's like, you can do this, or you can do this. And you can be like, all right, I'll find out. But then you're also doing stuff, and they're like, so my gnome's husband is stuck in this mushroom field. And you can be like, oh, I'll go check on him when I'm walking by. You'd be like, all right, kind of like fuck your husband. I don't give a shit. And she's like, yeah, kind of like fuck my husband. I don't give a shit either. And you're like, cool. We're kind of on the same page here.
High persuasion skill.
Really cool characters that you interact with for like 2 minutes, and they just say something really fun. And you're like, oh, that's nice.
Is it fun to play by yourself?
I'm having a great time by myself. I think if me and you play together, I think we'd have a good time as well.
We should put it on Twitch.
Maybe.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Because I will just control maybe 2 people. You control 2 people.
Oh, so you're not just...
No, you're a party. You can play it solo, just one character, but that would be hard. But you control a party of 4.
Okay.
And then it's time-based tactics. So if you get into a fight, it goes turn-based.
Yeah.
And that's where I think you would have most of your learning going on there, because I think you would enjoy it, but I think you'd get frustrated with how everything still rolls.
I do get frustrated.
You will get like a perfect setup where you could push somebody off of a ledge and it will just win the game, and you're like, this is great. And then you go and you roll and it says, you missed, and so you just push and you just miss them, and then the guy just shocks you with lightning, and then you're dead, and you're like, son of a bitch, I didn't save it for an hour.
Jesus. That sounds interesting. Like that was one of the games where I hadn't played anything in the series before, so I was kind of waiting on any recommendations for it. I
think that this is your next step. I think if you're going to be in RPGs, I think this is the one.
A Baldur's Gate?
Yeah, it's not like Witcher.
That's one of the games I can never get into.
Where you couldn't get into it. There's a lot of stuff. I haven't even gotten to Baldur's Gate yet. I'm 12 hours into it.
Wait, where's Baldur's Gate?
Baldur's Gate is a place that we're working our way towards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like
you're in a shipwreck.
Hub.
You're in a shipwreck, and you got a tadpole in your eye, and now you're just like, all right, I'm working my way towards Baldur's Gate, and I'm just helping out a lot of people as well along the way. So.
And you're playing on PS5?
Yeah.
Nice. Is that one that's on PS4 as well?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. So it's a new... I'm just asking because I'm like, is it a new game?
Yeah.
I don't think I've played many games that are PS5 exclusive yet.
Right. Returnal.
Yeah.
That was the first one.
Didn't play.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was good.
It's just because, I don't know, most of the games seem like they have backwards compatibility.
Yeah, most of the time.
Since I moved everything down here to the studio so I could do the Twitch stuff, I put my PS4 back upstairs.
Uh-huh.
And I just downloaded a game that I played, the first one of, maybe half of it is the Horizon games.
Horizon?
I was just playing the new one, Forbidden West, a little bit, and I was just like, this game just doesn't...
I haven't touched that series.
Considering it's like a PlayStation, exclusive, and that was like one of their guys. I know they were trying to make the Horizon games kind of like an Uncharted, kind of like a God of War, or...
a big... AAA game.
They're a franchise blockbuster game. I just couldn't get in. Ghost of Tsushima was another one that but they put out.
You like that game?
I loved them.
Yeah.
That's why I was thinking. I love God of War. I love Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
This one I don't know. I just can't.
Different developers.
It's a lot of.
That's all it is.
And a lot of the combat in that drives me crazy. Is I remember getting into the other game. It's open-ended where you can set traps and use different weaknesses and everything like that, but I just didn't find it as fun as especially even Ghost of Tsushima, you get into like a camp and you're like, all right, how am I going to get these guys out? We got some archers up there.
Uh-huh.
They have all these stuff, and I really enjoyed planning that out, but it's just something about the
didn't
Horizon
click
game.
For you with Horizon.
And it's a little bit too much crafting and a little too open world for...
Yeah, I haven't touched it at all.
Yeah.
So I have no clue what it's like.
Still trying to find... Well, I've got a game that I've been playing, and I've been still making my way through the Red Dead remake.
Yeah.
Not remake, re-release, whatever.
I sometimes stop and play that, but it's mostly Baldur's Gate these days.
I just placed a bid on something on eBay for I've got my OG Xbox upstairs.
Yeah.
And I need to find... I need an adapter, because that's just the... What do you call it when it's the red, yellow...
RGB
cables.
Mm-hmm.
I need to do that to HDMI.
Mm-hmm.
and then I put in a bid on eBay for
Composite,
something
maybe?
like that. Yeah, sure. I put in a bid on eBay for the original Red Dead Revolver.
Yeah.
I kind of want to.
Have you played that before?
I played it briefly. That's how old that is. I rented
Yeah.
that game from a Blockbuster video.
Yeah, I rented it from GameFly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever finished it, but I was playing Red Dead Redemption,
I
and
know
I'm
the
just
story
like,
about that. That was a Konami game first, and then
Red Dead Revolver?
yes,
Huh.
yeah, and
Konami, famously of your favorite game, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's the one.
God damn it, that game's not fun.
That game is fucking awesome. But the Rockstar bought the rights to it.
Really?
Yeah, and they said specifically they really like the Deadeye
Yeah.
mechanics, and that's what they wanted.
Wow. Yeah, they kind of.
Because it
Hit the
doesn't follow any
jackpot.
of the characters or anything like that from Red Dead Revolver.
No.
So,
Well, there's like hints in.
and you'll see that it's different.
Yeah.
Like there's a guy that has his guns in a coffin that he shoots a minigun out of.
It's pretty rad.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's a different vibe to it altogether. Altogether,
Altogether.
but I enjoyed the game. It was fun.
I would like to be able to do some Twitch stuff with my original Xbox because I have one of my favorite games ever, which is Def Jam Vendetta Fight for New York.
Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball.
I don't have the Extreme Beach Volleyball. I have Dead or Alive 5, 3, whatever the first one for Xbox was.
Put it back on the shelf.
I remember when that came out, and I was just like, video games will never look better than this. This is the greatest graphics of all time.
Yeah, it did look really nice.
It did. For an Xbox, it held up pretty well. All right. Well, we'll get into that after we get into what we're going to be talking about this week. I'll give you the choice. What do you want to talk about first? Your rec or my rec?
Let's talk about your rec first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into my recommendation for Jake, which was what year did this start coming out? Hold on a second.
Oh, I can't remember. I even looked it up.
Yeah, hold on. God damn it. It's one of those things that doesn't have 2021.
Yeah.
8 Billion Genies. It's written or created by Charles Soule and Ryan Browne, written by Charles Soule, and drawn by Ryan Browne. So it's just the two of those guys. They work great together. It's a real Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee kind
Tim
of
Sale.
vibe.
Jeff
Tim
Loeb.
Sale.
Tim Sale.
No, Loeb and Lee did stuff together too.
Maybe, but Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale are the dream team. They're the big ones.
Wait, who did Daredevil
did-
Yellow?
Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale.
Okay, Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb did Hush.
Yes.
That's what I'm thinking of.
And Hush, my problem was, didn't
art?
look as pretty. Yeah.
That's fair. To be fair. So yeah, he got Charles Soule got his start. He wrote for Daredevil, She-Hulk. He wrote a lot of Star Wars stuff as well. And then probably his most famous thing that he did was the Death of Wolverine run. So I mean, he's very good, and this is an original thing for them. So real quick, let me give a brief synopsis and why I recommended it to Jake. One, I recommended it to you because I know you love comic books,
Yeah.
like we both do.
Yes, of course.
And this is something that we had talked about briefly before when we did a couple episodes. I don't know how long it was, but I recommended to you the movie 3,000 Years of Longing,
Yeah.
where Idris Elba plays a genie. Ever since I was a kid, watching Aladdin was like the first thing where it was, genies, that's a
Yeah.
thing. And I think a lot of kids our age, that was kind of their first entrance to
Hell yeah. Wish making.
what a
Yeah.
genie is and how genies work. Like the
3 wishes.
set up the genie
Yeah.
rule. And I've always liked it. I think anything with wish fulfillment, like briefly right before we started talking, we were talking about why I recommended this, and I'm just like, it's kind of my jam. Like
Yeah.
anything where you get the wish fulfillment, or a random person gets extraordinary powers or possibilities thrust onto them. It's always a great jumping off point, I think, for fiction. So 8 Billion Genies, I'll just read the synopsis off the little Wikipedia thing. The title 8 Billion Genies refers to the number of genies that mysteriously appear simultaneously. Everyone's personal genie, granting each person one wish at exactly the same moment. So the main jumping off point for this is everyone on Earth, once the population hits 8 billion, a genie shows up, and it's a little cute guy.
Yeah.
The little kind of avatars of what the person looks like. Your genie kind of looks like you.
Yeah, a little
And
bit.
everyone on the planet simultaneously, regardless of age, gets a genie that pops up and says, "I'm your genie." Everyone gets one wish. And the story starts out in a bar in Detroit. And the genies pop up. One person, immediately she wastes her wish.
Yeah.
And one person immediately wishes for, I wish that any other wishes made don't affect this
This
bar
bar.
or anyone inside this bar. And that's the start of it. So the book's broken down.
Everybody's hiding out. The people that are in the bar are hiding out while
chaos
whatever's
ensues
happening
outside
from the wishes.
So I thought this was great, and we can get into the story a little bit, but just it's a new take on it. It's not what if one person gets the power, it's what if everyone gets the power.
An amazing concept.
Yes. And I think they pull it off really well. I think in something we'll talk about when we talk about your rec primer later, I think it follows, it sets up its rules and it sticks to them pretty well.
Well, what I like is a lot of stuff can be written off by the genies because they would ask them questions like, how does it work like this? And they're like, well, we'll probably do the more interesting thing out of that. Because they're still their own character as well. Right. And they're like, they share a mind. Like they can all see. They're omniscient.
Yeah, the genies are like
omnipresent,
kind of a hive mind.
Yes.
Like every genie's individual, and they talk to each other, but they all kind of have the same memories.
Sometimes they'll ask, like, "What are they okay? Are they alive?" And they're like, "I'm not going to tell you."
Yeah,
but sometimes I'll let you know.
Genies are kind of little dicks sometimes too. So before we get into the stories and the spoilers about it, and we talk more about it, Jake, how did you like 8 Billion Genies?
It was awesome.
Yeah?
It was fantastic. Yeah. Absolutely the type of story that I enjoy.
Artwork's great.
Artwork is beautiful.
Great.
Like you said, the genies look fantastic against the Stark characters.
Yeah, the characters it's kind of gritty.
Yeah.
The way they're drawn. And the genies are
it looks like a really good action comic affair type of drawing. And then these cute little Adventure Time style genies that are
it's
hanging
kind
out.
of Adventure Time, isn't it? Yeah, they're very cartoony.
Very cartoony, nice big eyes and a kind of like a purple blue starry body. They look great.
If they made a squishmallow of these things, I'd probably buy them.
I am thinking about getting a tattoo of these little guys.
Are you serious?
Yes.
You don't have any tattoos.
I'm going to get a tattoo of this.
From this book?
Yeah, probably.
I should not have recommended this book.
This is fantastic.
You know I don't feel good about tattoos.
But come on. That'd be a good tattoo.
They're sparkly, though. Can you do sparkly ink on a tattoo?
I'm going to do black first, just a black outline one, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Are you going to get one of what your genie would look like?
Exactly. I want to work with arts. I want to get artists to commission and be like, what would I look like as this
I get tattoos popped into my Instagram feed sometimes because I have a friend who's a tattoo artist, and like I always like his stuff. Like he's really fucking talented. He does, I forget what the style's officially called, like Classic American or something like that, where it's like strong lines and, just really cool looking stuff. And I'm like, holy shit. So sometimes in my Instagram feed will pop up. This guy popped up. I forget where he's based out of, but I've seen a bunch of his shit in my algorithm. And it's like the tattoos look like they're like embroidered patches. So it like looks like there's 3-dimensional ink. So it looks like you got a patch like sewn onto you, but it's tattooed. And I was just like, holy fuck, that guy's talented. Yeah. But I would never get it tattooed. There's nothing I like that much.
Yeah, I feel you. But I love the design of these guys. And I think they're fantastic.
Well, yeah, and anything with pop culture, I would feel bad getting a tattoo because you never know when people turn out to be terrible people.
Oh, yeah, I should wait to see if they turn this into a shitty television show.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, they're definitely going to... actually, in June 2022, it was announced that Amazon Studios purchased the film and television rights to 8 Billion Genies.
All right, so no, never mind. It's gone.
Soule and Browne are going to serve as executive producers. And I will say this, Amazon does pretty good work with their adaptations.
I don't want anybody talking to me about this.
Amazon made The Boys TV. The Boys TV show is better than The Boys.
Great.
It's better than The Boys comic.
And that's something to say because I like Garth Ennis.
Yeah. And also that was Seth Rogen and his partner whose name escapes me at the moment.
Evan Goldberg.
Yeah. And they did Garth Ennis' Preacher as well, which was good.
I didn't like it.
It was good. I think it held
the comic book.
It was still on AMC.
Yeah, and they didn't want to make it take place in the 90s.
And also the whole first season of Preacher was like a prequel that wasn't in the comics at all. Like it doesn't pick up where
it was. Yeah, like in and out of its inspiration.
But this would make a great. If they did.
But I don't want
one
people
season
to
of
see it.
You don't want people to see it?
No, I don't want people to see a tattoo of mine and then we have to talk about it. What if it's bad, but they like it? What if it's a Star Wars thing and I got a Star Wars tattoo and people would be like, Star Wars? I'm like, no.
What Star Wars tattoo would you get?
I wouldn't. I would probably get the Rebel symbol, but no, not anymore.
Because the Rebels got canceled because of all those innocent people they killed in the Death Star.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right. Because I don't want people being like, you like the Star Wars? I'm like, oh, don't.
Why are you talking to Jar Jar Binks and he's asking if you like
everybody
Star Wars?
That likes Star Wars is 8 years old.
We like Star Wars.
I'm fine with it.
There's more Star Wars that's bad. Have you been watching Ahsoka? Speaking of Star Wars,
why would I do that?
It's not bad.
I'm not doing it.
It's not bad.
There's no way.
The last episode was okay.
I love. Oh, what's her name? That's playing
Rosario Dawson.
Rosario Dawson.
Yes.
I love her.
Oh yeah, she's great.
I'm not gonna watch this show.
Fair enough.
It's not gonna happen.
You'll watch
There's
it. There's
enough Star Wars.
Let me tell you, if it was as good as Andor, I would tell you to watch it. Like I told you to watch Andor.
I didn't watch Andor.
Yeah, but you still watch Andor.
That's not probably gonna happen unless you recommend it. Yeah.
Probably will.
Okay.
Once
It's
I don't
probably.
know. But regardless,
Star Wars is really off the table.
as far as adaptations of media, this is one that I think has a lot of room for interpretation. Like you could
you can have a lot of fun with this thing.
like they do with The Boys. Like they don't follow. There's beats for beats that The Boys kind of follows, but then some of them are completely different. Like they killed off what's his name, Noir in The Boys. And I guess spoilers for the TV show The Boys. They kill him off, but in the comics he was a clone of Homelander. And like they're just making little changes like that. And it's good. It's better. And I think that this is something that it's only 8 issues, and you could really.
They made a movie out of it. I think that would be great.
I don't think a movie would be good. I don't think
a movie would be better.
I think I've changed how I feel a lot about movies based on your recommendation for me this week.
That? Oh,
where
Primer?
I think TV's gotten good enough, and there's enough budget for TVs that some things should not be movies.
Okay.
Some things should be. If the idea is bigger than 2 hours. Give it more than 2 hours because it needs it. Because condensing things, I think condensing this into a movie.
I like that point. Yeah.
I think this is a movie would suck.
I think you could make this into a movie, though.
I think you can make it into a trilogy, but I don't. I think with movies now, especially with box office and stuff, and some. Oh, this is a note that we got. People or someone asked us in particular about the writer's strike because unfortunately, like eventually we're going to run out of shit to talk about because nothing new is coming out.
Plenty of movies for you to watch.
Yeah, and a lot of them are old.
Yeah, but, a lot of them are old.
So with that coming out,
I can bring a game board and we can play a game. I'll recommend a game for you to play.
I don't like board games.
Yeah, too bad, buddy.
I don't like to.
Oh, buddy.
What board games?
I don't know. I got some.
I tried to learn how to play
Metal Gear Risk. I have Risk Metal Gear Edition. That's right.
What's
another
the map?
Continent. It's America, but you also have Metal Gear Arsenal. It's the world, but you have Metal Gear Arsenal as well.
All right, I'll take Metal Gear Arsenal and just rule the world.
Yeah, it moves around the oceans. Yeah, isn't that cool?
Is this a legitimate Risk?
Yes. It is Metal Gear Risk. It came out when Metal Gear Solid 4 came out.
Although for the holiday season, they're reprinting, or I guess remanufacturing, reselling the Stardew Valley board game.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Kind of interested in that.
They said it. I was reading about it, and they're like, "This is a complicated game."
Yeah.
It's like, don't expect it to be done in like 40 minutes.
You ever play Catan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a good game.
Played it a couple times with a few of my buddies that are way into it, and I just
it depends on the people that you're playing with.
I gotta tell you, the whole planning long term thing, not great at.
Yeah.
Like board games are not my forte. I tried to play on my. Did I tell you I started playing on the Switch for 99 cents? They had Civilization 6.
Oh, that is something that I want to recommend you. Cool.
Civilization 6?
Yeah, no. I have a game in my head. But Civ is a great series.
Couldn't get into it. Like
really?
I just the mechanics of it and stuff like that
is much more fun with people.
And I started I've talked about it to you before. I don't know if I mentioned it here, but I started collecting the Magic the Gathering Lord of the Rings cards.
Yes, sir.
Almost have most of the set. And just because I like Lord of the Rings and the artwork's fantastic. I've never played Magic. I've never had any interest in playing Magic. I know people that have been playing Magic for 20 years. Like it's been a part of their life forever.
I've played it 4 or 5 times now.
Yeah.
I every time I forget how to play.
I forgot how to play.
I could set it up
and then
probably.
Someone told me there's the app for it, the MTG Arena.
Yeah.
Where you like play it on, and it's like, oh, that'll show you how to play it. And I'm sitting there on my phone trying to learn how to play. I'm like, nope. I'm going to go back to my,
just collecting.
My game of, where you're just drawing lines and they fit up to colored dots, the same color.
Dots and boxes?
No, it's called, I forget what it's, but you just do like little boxes and you do like, oh, red goes to red and green goes to green, but red can't cross green. So what are you going to do about this? It's some fucking boomer ad game where like every 30 seconds you get the ad for like, oh, the night's down here, but there's acid.
You're the reason that I have to sit through those ads.
Put your phone on airplane mode, man. Life hack.
I don't.
There's nothing there. We are so fucking off base.
We are off base. We're talking about genies. We haven't even started about the beginning.
Okay, so
these 3 people playing at a dive bar.
They're in a band.
They're at a band, and 8 Billion Genies happen. While one of the band members is talking to the female girl, and he's like, I would really like to date you. And she's like, oh, I don't know. And then the genie pops up, and they're like, hey, I'm here to grant you a wish. She's like, I want the other guy in this band to fall in love with me. He needs to fall in love with me. And then
the genie's like, you got it.
Yeah. And then the other guy's like, oh, well, fuck me, I guess.
But fuck her, the genie's guess, because someone already made the wish.
On the inside
was in the bar.
Already made the wish that anything that's wished on these people in the bar doesn't affect them.
And the guy that she wants to love them is in the bar.
Yeah.
And
he's like, I do not feel like that.
Yeah.
For you.
So in the bar, you have a couple good, I wouldn't, what the fuck is the word? Archetypes.
Yeah.
Of people. You have father and son. Single dad, and he's in the bar because he's drunk. He's like passed out, and his son's
a good son that comes
early teenager. He's like, hey, and
yeah.
it's the bartender knows the son, and he's like, hey, your dad's here. So you get the vibe.
Yeah,
that
you want to just take while he drinks coffee, you want to hang out with us. Yeah.
And then you have two tourists from China, and they came in. They went to the wrong bar.
Yeah, they needed to go to the bar on the other side of town. Yeah.
So they're in there, and then shit goes down. And I think that's everyone that's in there.
She's pregnant.
Yeah, she's pregnant, and that's
the Chinese
everyone.
wife is pregnant. And then the band people, and then the bartender.
And then the bartender. And so outside, immediately, shit just goes haywire.
Yeah.
Like, the artwork is great when they show the outside world, the world outside the bar. There's like people riding Tyrannosaurus Rex. And there's like giant people. The moon has a face.
Some people want to turn into a truck.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to break down this bar.
Yeah.
And it's like,
you can't get in.
You can't get in. You can't do anything.
The way the the series is broken down is, I think it's the first 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Then the first 8 hours. Then the first 8 days. Then the first 8 years. And then the first 8 centuries.
Yeah.
So it takes a whole lot of time.
Yeah.
And the reason this is one of my favorite genie things, other than just the sheer anarchy of everyone gets a wish, it's great because like some people blow it immediately, that impulse control.
Yeah.
And it has at the beginning of every issue, it has a little ticker of what the world population is and how many genies are left.
Yeah, how many wishes are left. Yeah.
Yeah. So it says Earth population, genie population. So it starts
8 billion people, 8 billion genies.
Right. And then 8 minutes later, it's like 7 billion people.
Yeah.
4 billion genies.
I think the first update was, 6 billion people with, less genies than that.
So you're just seeing people die off in droves.
Amazingly
and a bunch
quick.
of people like using up their wishes real quick.
Yeah.
There are cute little side stories of a father who has a bunch of kids. I think he's in Brazil. I want to say Brazil or somewhere in South America. And he wishes, like one of his kids immediately wishes for a bunch of toys. Like he's talking with his wife. He's like, what are we going to do with these wishes, everything like that?
Yeah.
And then he hears his kids talking in the other room, and he runs in and he wastes his wish, and he's like, I wish my children can't use their wishes unless me and my wife say agree with it. And then that's good. So he locks his kids' wishes up fast.
Yeah.
And it's just a fascinating study of, obviously, what would this be like in the real world? It would be fucking anarchy.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't get dark with it. Like, I mean, there are parts of it that are darker,
but it's not goth style dark.
No.
It's dark subject matter and it's dark things that happen, but it's more like, you knew this was going to happen type of stuff.
So when they find out that the world outside is a wasteland, one of the Chinese people who's trying to get his wife there find out they have to go meet someone at the other bar. He wishes for, I wish to have whatever I need to protect my family.
Yeah.
So he gets like a fucking suit of armor. Very, anime style, like gun, laser sword.
Yeah. He could pull out. He could put on the armor at any moment, just flashes right onto him.
And the dad wishes for the kid's mom to come back.
Yes. The drunk father.
The drunk father wishes for his
mom.
His wife, ex-wife to come back.
Yes.
And she comes back, which is an interesting thing that the ghosts of people come back in full form. Like I think later in that episode, in the bar walks Ernest Hemingway, and Jim Morrison, comes in,
and some other writer lady,
and
I don't think I've ever heard of.
People are being wished back, and then it turns out that the spirits are there.
Yeah.
If you wish someone back to life, the spirits are there as long as the person that wished for it is alive.
Yeah. Once the wish caretaker dies,
Yes.
it's not like immediately they're gone.
Right.
They stick around for a bit and then they just poof
Slowly
away.
fade away.
Yeah. So they find that out about the mother.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, geez, like I got to keep my dad alive if I want to keep my mom alive.
Right.
So the kid's really thinking about his wish and how to work that out.
Yeah.
You know, and he comes up with a kid's wish that you would have.
Which is superhero.
I got to be a superhero. I want to protect them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to go out of this bar and I want to find a place safe for my parents.
And so that's a cool little side story. Is he goes out as a superhero and he immediately finds
The
other superheroes.
Probably the saddest story out
Yeah.
of there is because some people wished for a protector type of person, and some people wish to be a superhero. And he's out there killing them, not knowing if one of them is a fake thing or
Yep.
if they're an actual person. And that kind of like really messes with his head because he's a 12-year-old kid.
Yeah. And so as the story progresses, there's like rumors of different enclaves of where some people made a wish to set up their own little land.
Yeah.
Like when it shows the
A wish-proof place.
right
Yeah.
when they show at the beginning of every issue the Earth,
Yeah.
like from space.
Yeah.
You see in the landscape parts of it are missing.
Yeah.
Like there's a place called was it like Toddland or something like that. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's been a while since I read it. One guy just wishes for his
Toddland, I think.
yeah
And
wishes for his own.
you don't even see Toddland, but I love the lore of Toddland
And
because you
people are
have
just
to
talking about
kill
it.
the Todds.
Yes.
Because if the Todd gets you, they'll turn you into Todd.
Yeah.
That's
And
cute.
It's just amazing, obviously, wish fulfillment and stuff like that. But then
Yeah.
it's incredibly, like, I don't want to give too much away because I think people.
No, I think you should read this. Yeah.
I've got a copy of this. First person to come up to me that wants to borrow this, like, I'll let you borrow it. But yeah, it's available on Amazon. It's a quick read. I mean,
Yeah.
it's only 8 issues.
Yeah, I read it in one day, and
Yeah.
the thing that actually affected me. There's a part where the lady does give birth to her child,
And her child gets a wish.
and her child gets a wish, and the mother of that was wished back helped deliver her, and she said, "I hope your child changes the world." And then the Chinese mother says, "Every child changes the world." And I was like, "Oh God, that's so good! What a good line!"
Without, like I said, without giving too much away, it goes for 8 centuries. And then, but before it goes to 8 centuries, like it bases everything off of what they call G Day, the day the genies all appeared. And then it goes back 8 centuries before the last G Day, and you find out the origins of the genies
Yeah,
and everything
this is
like that.
this has happened on Earth before.
Yes.
Yeah, they're looking for the perfect wish. Is
Yeah.
what the genies are doing.
The genies are there hoping that one person makes the perfect wish.
And I'm telling you, this is a fantastic story.
Did you enjoy the end of the book?
Absolutely.
I think it ended perfectly. I think it doesn't need a
think
sequel.
I think what this book did really well is it knows that you know. You know, it's like, of course it is. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of moments in this book is, of course it is.
Yeah.
And it whether it's good or bad, it's always like, of course you knew that. It's written in stone that
And
this is what's going to happen.
I think the genies are written like so. I'm going to go into this because I want to talk about this with our next thing that we're going to talk about. I was awkwardly fucking phrased sentence. But before we get into primer, how does this rank for you with other genie media?
I didn't think about that too much.
Well, as far as like, does
As far
it
as-
stick with the?
As far as taking the concepts, it's
Yes.
up there.
Somewhere
it's,
new.
It's on Mount Rushmore of
Because I want to
genie
talk to you
stuff.
about that with primer, with time travel.
Yeah.
That puts it back. And I was like, oh, I've never seen time travel done
Yeah.
like this before.
Yeah.
But I think this is
This
one
is
of
Mount Rushmore of genie stories.
Mount Rushmore of genies.
Definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
You've
because
got-
it's something that takes its concept and fleshes it out to the point where, you know, it's. Have you ever read Death Note?
I've seen Death Note.
Okay. Well, a lot of fun of Death Note is Light trying to figure out the rules of the book. Mm-hmm. And so he tries very different, wild, weird things to find out what he can do with this book so that he's trying to find out the right thing to do. But establishing the rules of something is pretty darn fun. And
Yeah.
that's something that they explore really well in this book. But I also like that it's not something set in stone. It's like a manager where they can follow the rules if they want.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like, this is what needs to happen. He's like, but we can interpret it our own way
Right,
as
the
well.
genies are there more to supervise. They're not.
Yeah.
It's not the genies that are like. It's not Genie from Aladdin where it's like, oh, I have to give you 3
Yeah.
wishes, or like Genie from 3,000 Years of Longing. It's Genie in the sense of, you know, an entity with the ability to make anything happen.
Yeah.
If it's wished for.
Yeah.
So let's go Mount Rushmore and genies. I just pulled up Genie things.
Yeah.
Would you put Idris Elba from 3,000 Years of Longing up there?
Yes. Absolutely.
Robin
I'm pretty
Williams
sure
genie?
I've seen 4 genies, and they're all Mount Rushmore.
Really?
Robin Williams, Idris Elba,
Uh-huh.
this book.
That's 3 things.
I don't know anything else.
I Dream of Jeannie.
Kazam.
Kazam's on your Mount Rushmore of genies?
That's the only other genie.
Kazam was the first movie I ever saw in theaters without a parent.
Wow.
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
Oakmont 8 Cinemas off Cortez Avenue in Bradenton, Florida.
Wow.
It was Kazam was
You
there.
ran away from home? No. And you were like,
No,
they
it
told
was-
you not to watch Kazam.
I only remember it because it was like a momentous thing. It's like it was my brother and I got to go see it, and it's like we get to go see a movie without. It's like you're not going to be in the theater. It was my dad and my stepmom. They're like, no, we're going to be down at the other end of the shopping center. They were at like this little pub. They went and got dinner by themselves, so they were probably fucking happier that they got to have dinner without kids more so
True.
than we were. And
it was a deal that worked out for everybody.
yeah. And they're like, you guys come right over here as soon as you're done, and you just feel like an adult. You're just sitting there, you're just like. That's right. We're seeing Kazam at 6 p.m. on a Wednesday, like completely
Kazam.
unsupervised.
Oh, Kazam.
God. Okay.
Been a while.
So yeah,
been
8
a
Billion
while.
Genies. It's available wherever you want to buy comics. I think it's on Comixology too.
Definitely going to buy this thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Hardback's available on Amazon.
Maybe
and
get a tattoo. We'll see about the media. If it's
Are you
going to
have to wait till the TV show comes
Yeah,
out now?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else would you get a tattoo of?
Twin Peaks.
Booyah! I'm not getting a Twin Peaks tattoo.
Yeah.
Is there any book that's already been adapted that you would still possibly get a tattoo of?
I'd get a Lord of the Rings tattoo, probably.
And how would you differentiate it from? Oh, it's not a tattoo for
Because
the movie.
it's not for the movie. It's more for my friends.
Yeah.
Like, my friends are... I have, for some reason, 3 friends that are, like, die-hard crazy about Lord of the Rings.
What's up?
And I go, oh my gosh, I guess it's 5.
Yeah.
Because
Do I
you
count as
and
2 people?
another one. You and another one.
Oh, I thought you went
Yeah.
from 3.
No.
I have 3 friends. It's like me too. Oh, 5.
Oh, right.
That's
Your
right.
left tit.
You're an asshole.
But yeah, for some reason, it's a lot of people, so it'd be nice to have something to a memento.
It speaks to a
Those
lot
people?
of people.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings is one of those things that's iconic
Lord of
because
the
it hits a
Rings,
lot of
it's-
religious overtones
It's
without
great
being a
that
religion.
it's got such a big fan base, but it's absolutely still nerdy as shit.
Yeah.
You know.
As far as comics, I would like to get a Batman. I don't know what Batman logo I would get though.
Yeah.
That's the thing about Batman. Your choice of what the Batman logo looks like
Yeah.
says a lot about you too.
You just get the picture of the Joker saying, "I got a million boners
Fucking-
that I want to give to Gotham."
Joker tattoos are the worst.
Yeah, you gotta get a Joker tattoo.
The worst Joker tattoos
see
are
it?
the tattoos
Now
the
you're
Joker
feeling
had.
it. This is what I'm saying.
In Suicide
if
Squad.
8 Billion Genies gets the Joker treatment, I don't want an 8 Billion Genies tattoo.
All right. It's got the things going for it that it's Amazon. Amazon did you watch Good Omens?
No.
I'm halfway through the 2nd season. It's a fucking gem of a show. It's just a very nice thing. And I will say that if 8 Billion Genies is as good as the Netflix Sandman, I think it's pretty good because I thought Netflix Sandman was great.
I haven't seen that either.
Yeah. Netflix Sandman was fantastic.
It's hard for me to want to watch these things. Like, we've had this conversation
Yeah.
before. If I already enjoy the book,
Mm-hmm.
I will probably just stick with the book, you know, and
Yeah.
like just kind of leave it at that.
Yeah.
Unless, so I don't know. I might watch Sandman one day, but I don't know. That
I'll
was
stick around.
one of my favorite comic books growing up.
Yes, it was amazing. I got it over there. All right, let's get into Jake's recommendation. So again, 8 Billion Genies, Charles Soule, Ryan Browne. Everyone should go read it because it's fucking great.
Yeah.
It was one of the books, like comics that I've read in the past couple of years where I just sat down. I was like, this is so original.
Yeah.
It's not based on an existing property. Just
8
fucking
issues, and you basically fall in love with every character that's
yep,
on there.
Just knock your socks out. It's one of
Yeah.
the best things I've read in a while.
Yeah.
Glad you liked it.
Great flesh out of the villain.
Yes.
Wonderful fleshing out.
Yeah.
Good. What a good job.
Yeah.
And I loved that a lot of the crazy stuff that I see in there, I was like, nobody's going to wish for that.
Yeah.
Like, there's just a shot where somebody's going out into space and you see an eyeball in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who's going to say, I wish there was an eyeball in the middle of the ocean? And then it shows you one of those pictures of the Earth.
Yeah.
Outside, and you see the Earth's got little arms, little legs.
Yeah.
Somebody wished that the Earth was alive,
Yeah.
and would have died immediately.
And there's a lot of little jokes like that are just drawn into the background.
Yeah.
Like we talked about, the art's fantastic, and the more you could reread it infinitely.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
All
great.
right, So let's get into Jake's recommendation. Oh, yeah. What's a score? 3?
3.
Obviously 3.
There you go.
Okay, obviously 3. All right, let's get into Jake's recommendation for me, which was the 2004 film Primer.
Primer, sir.
Independent as fuck this movie was.
The shoestring budget.
Oh, god damn it.
Yeah.
What was the budget for this?
Probably
budget was $7,000.
Hey, buddy.
Jesus.
That's an accomplishment for $7,000. That must have been mostly the self-storage.
What was the thing? Oh. This cost less to make than what was the fucking Mystery Science Theater you made me watch?
Huh?
Time
Chasers?
Time Chasers, yeah.
It costs less than Time Chasers.
That was the worst time travel thing. So I've recommended 2 genie things. You recommended 2 time travel things.
Wow. Look at the difference in quality of understanding of time travel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although one of the first things I recommended you was Time Bandits, which is a fantastic time travel movie.
Yeah.
Time travel is just fun. All right, so let's get into it.
Yeah,
Jake, tell me how'd you find out about the movie? Because I had never heard of this before.
Back in the day, Netflix used to be awesome, and I used to get high all the time. I'd come home from work, and their recommended list was always great. And I would sit down, and Primer was right there, and I plopped it on, and I watched it, and I was like high as hell, trying to find out how crazy this movie is. And I was like, that was great. I was like, that is like a lot of fun that I had with a time travel movie.
Yeah.
And since you already watched Dungeons and Dragons, my dear boy,
I did.
I had to think on the spot of what to get you to watch.
Were you going to parlay your Dungeons and Dragons rec into your Baldur's Gate discussion? Because if that was your plan, I feel bad about wrecking that.
You
for
fucked up everything.
Well, you shouldn't have fucking talked about the directors of the movie that I recommended for you, because the same people that wrote Dungeons and Dragons.
Thank God you said something, because that would have been so funny at the end of the episode.
Yeah, it's like, they just wrote this movie that you just fucking shit on. Regardless. Okay, so Primer by Shane Carruth is the dude.
Yes.
Who apparently has some scandals about him.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Domestic violence.
Oh, my gosh.
So, scandal noted for him. Tip I learned from Pete Holmes whenever you're talking about someone with scandals. Scandal noted about the dude.
Scandal noted.
Yeah.
Had no clue. Upstream Color was his second movie.
Yes.
And I couldn't get into it that much.
Fair enough. So, give us a brief, or give the people a brief synopsis of Primer.
So there's like this group of guys, and they're all really smart people.
Yeah.
And they also have, like on the side, they want to make something that'll get them super rich.
They're early 2000s tech bros.
Yeah.
They're trying to build something.
Science bros.
Trying to engineer some shit in their garage. So it's like, let's
they
get
decided
it
was mass. They were like, we can get the mass of things down, and that would have, amazing compromises on the earth.
Yeah.
That would be at $1 billion to $1 trillion idea. And they get it to work, and they're like, wow, like we're doing great, but there's this fungus growing on it. And they're like, what the hell is this fungus? And then they're like, oh, that fungus is like when something ages, like when it gets older, it gets this type of fungus.
Yeah, it's a kind of mold. They say it's everywhere. If something is left alone in like a dark environment, this fungus will grow.
But it doesn't go anywhere, Right. So they're like, that's crazy. But no, it's not crazy, because they made a time machine by accident. And then the movie just goes, all right, how do we work this? And it goes crazy from there.
So the 2 main characters, guys named Aaron and Abe.
Yeah.
They discover this whole thing. And so this movie kind of hangs its hat on the fact that everyone kind of says this is the most scientifically plausible and accurate
What I
thing
enjoy
of time travel.
about this movie is the time travel aspect.
Yes. Well, it's a whole fucking time travel movie. Hopefully it wasn't the way it was shot, because it looks bad.
It's terrible. But the way...
It's not the special effects that you were into.
The characters aren't that interesting.
No.
The story, the driving action of the story isn't that interesting.
Nothing.
But everything about time travel in this movie is so incredibly interesting.
Yes.
So that's why I love this movie. I don't love it. I just really love it as a time travel movie.
You went back in time and changed your opinion of this movie real quick.
As soon... trying to understand time travel is a really fun thing, because a lot of people have, their own ideas. And this movie is like, no, this is how it can be. This is how it can be.
And apparently this guy was a real dick about it to everyone else, because Shane Carruth was a former engineer.
Yeah.
And smart guy.
Yeah.
Scandal
You
noted.
could tell that it was a smart guy.
He ain't an actor, I'll tell you that, or
Yeah.
a director, or a producer. Well, I guess he's a good producer because it did exist.
Yeah. And it made money.
So, one thing about this movie I will say, like, just getting it out of the way, it was made for $7,000. It looks like it was made for $4,000. It has that weird early 2000s post The Matrix, like yellowish green hue, oversaturation.
I think it's because they didn't know how to work the cameras.
That could be, but it looks like an after. It looks like what's the
After Effects?
no the movie Hugh Jackman and Halle Berry's boobs.
Swordfish?
Swordfish. Yes, it looks like that movie.
With the tints?
Yeah, well, everything after The Matrix kind of had that greenish, like Boiler Room kind of had that hue. Everything was just that color for a couple years after The Matrix came out.
No, okay.
So it looked like maybe they were trying to make it seem like a big budget movie, because it does look like every movie from then, which is just kind of shitty.
Yeah.
The writing, apparently, the movie's 77 minutes long.
Yeah.
It's a fucking
Damn.
it's a Black Mirror episode, essentially. If this was
Yeah.
put out as a Black
This would have
Mirror
been a
episode,
great Black Mirror
it would have been a
episode.
great Black Mirror.
Yeah.
So in Shane Carruth, I've watched not interviews with him, but people talking about how he felt the movie, people that have watched like director's commentary, and apparently for a while he went on tour with this movie kind of, and like did like Q&A shit
Oh, fun.
afterwards, because he was dead set this is how time travel would actually be.
Yeah.
So
If
I watched
with the
this movie-
caveat that you can affect
Right.
the past.
So the way the basic, I watched this movie twice in a row. Like,
Nice.
because I watched it and then I was like, is that it? And I was like, I don't think I fucking understood
Yeah.
what happened.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because it fucking flies off the rail.
You know what it gives me real vibes of?
Uh-huh.
It gives me real Donnie Darko vibes.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
I will say that where Donnie Darko tried to be,
A good time travel movie in its own right.
it's a great time travel movie.
Yeah.
And I will talk about my favorite time travel movies shortly. Donnie Darko is probably up on that list. But Donnie Darko was one of those movies where, like, this movie came out in 2004, so we were both in high school then.
Uh-huh.
If I had seen this on VHS, I would have told everyone about this movie and acted like I was the smartest fucking person in the world. And if you watch Primer and you didn't get it, that's because you're fucking dumb.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm a smart guy.
Uh-huh.
And it's just really, it's very singularly focused. And so I'm going to try to explain the plot of Primer. And by that, I mean, I'm going to recount 2 different YouTube videos that I watched where people explain the plot of Primer. Because I will say this, I consider myself a smart person. Some of this went way over my fucking head.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that speaks to what he was trying to do, because this movie doesn't hold your fucking hand. It's
No.
like, and it's written, and I think that's it. I don't think, he said that this is an intentional choice where he's like, I'm not going to dumb it down. They didn't really, it didn't seem like there was much ADR or any audio
Yeah.
recording or anything like that. Like, there are 2 of them talking to, like, the
Well,
physics involved in time travel while they're pumping gas, and it's just like, they're just at a gas station,
Yeah.
and you can't hear a fucking word they say. Had to click on the subtitles for my second watch.
Everything
through.
that I've read was like, turn on closed captioning.
Yes, not that made that big of a difference either, because I didn't understand most of the physics, because I am not a physicist.
Yes.
So here's how this works in the movie, is that there's something called a causal loop, where A to B, an effect of something. When something's in this device that changes the mass of the thing, it also, because it has such an effect on the mass of the thing, it has something effect on time, because time is relative. When you distort the mass of an object, of whatever's in there, relative to its surroundings, that thing travels in time. And since you're lowering its mass, you're actually sending that thing through time backwards.
Sure.
Starts out with a little like egg weeble, like
Yeah.
one of Weeble wobbles, but they don't fall down. And that's what the thing goes on. So then their next thing is, well, let's make one bigger.
Yeah.
And they're talking about it, and then eventually Abe shows up to Aaron. Yes, Abe's red hair.
Yeah.
Abe shows up to Aaron while Aaron's sitting on a bench, and they're just at their shitty jobs. And he's like, hey, I need you to come with me.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you know how we talked about that time travel stuff?
He's like,
Did it.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you didn't. And he's like, look over there. And
Yeah.
then he just sees another Abe walking into a
Yeah.
storage unit, and he's like, yeah.
yeah.
So we can do this. And so they do the quick turn, and they're like, well, I want to go in one too. He's like, great, because I already built another fucking thing. It's one of those ask for forgiveness, not permission.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, our time travel thing, that we did it.
We already got it going
Yeah,
on.
I'm
here,
already
buddy.
I'm already from the future. So they go, and then their whole thing is Abe is dead set. He's the rule follower of we have to drive to another town, stay in a hotel, and it's 2004, so there's not much social media or shit like that. He's like, we're not going to watch TV.
Yep.
He brought
hold up in the hotel.
We're going to stay in the hotel for 6 hours because the time machine works kind of in real time backwards.
Yes.
So
you turn on the time machine.
You turn on the time machine. Let it run empty. Let it preheat. You're preheating the time machine.
Preheating the oven.
And then you stay outside, or you turn on the machine, you go into a hotel room, you isolate yourself.
Yeah.
And then after 6 hours, you go to the time machine, get in it, and then you, inside the time machine, wait 6 hours. Then you get out, and then when you turn the time machine on.
Yep.
So basically, whenever you're in the time machine, it'll send you back, but you can't go back further than when the time machine was turned on.
Yep.
And they do this. They figure out the same thing everyone else does. Stock market, what stocks went up.
Yeah. But I like their approach to it.
Then you start at the morning, and it's like, we want something that's not going to make a whole lot of money, but we're going to put money into it. Something that's not going to raise any flags, or that our trade.
We'll just do penny stocks, but a bunch of them.
Right. If it was written now, it'd probably be a Bitcoin thing. It'd be like whatever cryptocurrency went, to the moon, like they say on the fucking Reddits. And they make a point to say it tries to fill up any hole. It really tries to steel man the plot of this movie, where it's like, we're going to invest in something that's not going to raise any red flags when we buy it, and it's not going to raise any red flags when we sell it.
Yeah.
So just be smart investors doing it, which I guess you could probably do a whole lot easier back then because they're doing it from a library. They're using the computer in the library, which is
2004.
It's some 2004 shit.
You had to sign up.
Yes.
And say, I'm sorry, we had this computer from 12:30 to 1.
Exactly. So they go through that, and then that night there's a party where a dude shows up with a gun. And Aaron diffuses the situation, and everyone's like, "You're such a good dude for that."
Yeah, wow, Aaron. Yeah.
And then they go back a couple more days, and then it turns out that they run into somebody who they're like, "That guy, I saw him earlier. He was clean shaven.
Yeah.
Now he's got a beard. What the fuck is he doing here?" And they find out because that their whole thing, they're trying not to interact with themselves, but fucking Abe forgets his cell phone. Or forgets he has his cell phone with him.
He brought the cell phone back in time.
His wife calls.
Yeah.
And he's like, because shit. While they're in the hotel room, he picks up the phone. And then when
it's rooted by the radio towers around him. So it finds the first phone that has that number. So he intercepted this call from past Aaron.
Right. So the one that he got in the hotel room, he got when he was out and about. And then he was like, that person I didn't get the phone call. So that affects it, and they're like, "Oh shit, is the world gonna end?" And then nothing did. And they're like,
"That's when you find out that you can alter history."
I guess we're good. Yeah. So Abe turns out that he made a failsafe.
Yeah.
That before he did anything, he was the smart one. He's the cautious one, and he turned on a failsafe that was in a different storage unit.
Yeah.
And he didn't tell Aaron about it. Didn't tell anybody about it because he said, if anything happens, I can just jump in this thing.
Yep.
And go back to the beginning and then just take the whole thing apart, and none of this will ever happen. Smart. Something called a causal loop.
Yep.
That I learned from a YouTube video. And
smart move.
The twist.
Aaron
knew about that thing.
Yeah.
And then he took a time machine into the time machine and went back and got another time machine. So he has his own failsafe that he set up before Abe started his failsafe so he could go back further.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that he had been, when Abe came up to him the first time to say, "Hey, I got a time machine."
Yeah.
He knew already because he was from a couple days in the future.
He's got a little earpiece in who's telling him the conversation that they're having right now.
Right.
So that he knows what to do to keep the causality that they have right here.
Now they're in a thing where he had himself, like he went back in time, found him from that time, drugged him, locked him in the attic.
Yep.
And then you realize that it doesn't do like flashbacky stuff where it like the big reveal, it's not like, oh, here are the flashbacks and put you all together. You had to kind of rewatch it and be like, his wife was like, there's something in the attic.
Yeah, you hear a thump in the attic.
And he's like, oh, it's just rats. Don't worry about it. It's like, oh, that was you.
No, that was you.
And I think that way, the end of it, they fix everything, or so they think.
Yeah.
And
they don't really.
Right, but they realize that they can exist. They're back to it's a real Majora's Mask situation. They're back to the dawn of the first day, but there are two of them.
Yes,
they think there are two of them.
Technically three.
There's three
Aarons,
two Abes.
Yeah,
and they're at the airport. We're like, we're just gonna fucking go.
Yeah,
and we're gonna not interact with these people. Abe decides to stay, and he's like, no, I'm gonna watch over, make sure that no one does any screwy time shit.
Yeah,
and Aaron's just like, I'm out.
Yeah, I gotta go.
I'm going to go. And then it ends with Aaron speaking to people in French, building a time machine in a warehouse. So it's a cute little movie. Like it's 77 minutes. I think it's probably not my favorite time travel movie.
It's my favorite idea of time travel.
I think it's really well done. I think this movie can easily come off as pretentious.
Easily.
I think it was intended to.
Yes. It's made from a smart man who's being like, this is how it works, you big chud.
He's not holding your hand.
No.
And
He's like, oh, I'm sorry, you're dumb.
Yeah. I did read a thing that Ryan Johnson said that this was his favorite time travel movie. And when he was making Looper, he called Shane Carruth and was like, hey, I made a fucking thing. You want to come consult on the time travel stuff? And Shane Carruth apparently just said, yeah, this is fun. You're fucking dumb.
Yeah.
That's not how...
That is so dumb.
That the fact that he was kind of...
Looper is great.
Looper's fun.
Bad time travel.
Looper is good because it kind of takes the Back to the Future aspect of where Marty McFly's just slowly disintegrating, like he doesn't exist anymore. In Looper, they have people in the past cutting your finger off, and then your finger just falls off.
Sometimes then, for some reason, the present, you lose your finger.
Exactly.
But there's a great scene in that movie where Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt are talking, and he's asking like, so how does this work? How does this work? And he goes, it doesn't matter. I'm like, as soon as I heard that, I was like, okay, Bruce, I get you.
Yes.
I'm on your movie. Let's watch.
Yeah. But yeah, I think this one, it definitely gets it's a 3.
Hell
I'm happy that I watched it, but like some of the caveats that I put on this, if you don't like it, I get it.
Yeah.
This is not for everybody.
This is something where if you're interested in time travel, this is like one of the coolest way to explain it.
Okay.
This is the coolest way a smart person will ever explain it.
So it's definitely... It's more like someone had an idea of how time travel could work and how the effects of time travel could work, and then put the bare minimum of a plot around it.
They thought they were good at stories.
Yes.
And then they wrote out 60 pages thinking it was 60 minutes.
The acting in it is...
No, they wrote out 90 pages thinking it was 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And then they read it out. And they're like, oh, shit.
The acting is not great.
Damn it.
The other movie it kind of reminded me of, just the way it was shot. And it was shot, obviously, by someone... And obviously, you make a film. Good for you. I've never made a film.
Yeah. You accomplished something that is extremely hard to do.
I've just started editing TikToks, and I'm getting pretty goddamn good at it.
Hell yeah, brother.
Thanks to everyone who's listening from TikTok. TikTok.com/upyouralleypod.
That's us.
And I get upset when my new TikToks don't get as many views as my other TikToks. So I was like, is that what you guys want? You just want to hear me talk about shooting Hitler in the dick? Is that what you people want?
Why did you stop?
I don't know. I should always talk about shooting
Guess what I get to recommend you after this episode?
Shooting Hitler in the dick?
Shooting Hitler in the dick.
So... but yeah, it gets a 3. I think as far as time travel movies go, like I kind of did down the YouTube rabbit hole after I watched 2 things about this. There's this I forget, something of London, like some girl in London. She breaks down movies, and she did a good breakdown on Donnie Darko too.
Yeah,
and more about this whole causal loop and how time travel works in different things. And I think for time travel movies, Donnie Darko's up there for me.
Definitely.
A movie that I think has aged Donnie Darko's aged pretty well.
Yeah.
And Donnie Darko was before this. I think Donnie Darko was 2001.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. That's amazing.
I bet you.
Because that movie looks like 10 times better.
Well, it had a budget and
true.
actors. I mean, fucking Dirty Dancing was in that movie. Swayze.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And the lady from Dances with Wolves.
Drew Barrymore.
And Noah Wyle.
Yeah.
And Seth Rogen.
And Jake Gyllenhaal.
Seth Rogen was in that movie. Donnie Darko was 2001. Nailed it. So
excellent grab. Another thing that I really enjoy, if I got a tattoo of it, it would be people that I don't want to talk to.
Is one of them Seth Rogen?
Talk to me. No, I don't want to talk to that guy.
But yeah, I think Primer's good. I found it on Apple TV. You rent it for $3.99. I think it's worth it. And I
Cool.
think people should watch it. If not, you can watch... there are YouTube breakdowns of this movie that are longer than this movie. This is one of those things
because it's straight up about the time travel.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted you to see it,
Yes.
because I thought you would enjoy that part,
Yes.
at very least. Because it's no Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure,
No.
but it has a really good grasp on how time travel works.
It's no Time Bandits.
It's no Time Bandits.
There's no Sean Connery playing Agamemnon.
No.
And I will say this, something that I think the time travel stuff I like more, like they did when they did time travel in Avengers, and they go back, and it's like, okay, that kind of makes sense like that, and they're all going back, and that was fun time travel, but that wasn't the whole movie drawn out about it. In Star Wars and Ahsoka and Rebels and stuff, they're doing a little bit of Star Wars-y time travel, but that's kind of like there's a hub that you can go to different points in the past.
Oh, my God, no.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And then there's Doctor Who,
no.
where he's not time traveling. The TARDIS is just time and relative dimension and space,
Yeah.
where you're just physically moving in the fourth dimension.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun time travel.
Yeah, that's fun time travel. His thing is just an adventure.
Yeah.
Star Wars is doing time travel stuff?
Not time travel, but you can kind of see the past. There's Ghost in Star Wars. People that are saying, "Oh, Star Wars is doing that." There's been Ghost. There's been
They
Ghost
haven't
the whole
gone
time.
back in time. They're
Haven't
forced
they?
ghosts.
Haven't they though?
No.
You're right, they haven't. But they do
It's
now.
a crazy idea.
Watch Rebels. It's fine. All right, so that's going to be the end of Primer. Everyone should watch Primer. Everyone should read 8 Billion Genies. So if you like the show, please follow us on whatever podcast thing you're doing. Leave a review and give a 5-star rating. Do all that good stuff. You can follow us on Instagram at upyouralleypod, TikTok at upyouralleypod, twitch.tv/fishtankindustries. You can also send your recommendations to upyouralleypod@gmail.com if you want us to give us your thoughts about
think
anything
we
like
got
this.
something that's up our alley.
Tell us what you would think would be more fun, genies or time travel. Oh, that's a good question.
Genie.
Would you rather have 3 wishes or 1 time machine?
3 wishes.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not
I guess-
fucking with time, dog.
I guess you could wish for time travel.
Yeah.
I will say
messing with
this.
time.
This is a
Space, I am all for.
2 best friends that have a time machine,
Uh-huh.
and one of them is playing them safe. I will tell you this right now, Jacob. On my heart, you are my very good friend. If you ever come up to me and say that you have a time machine, but there are set rules so we can't mess with it, I immediately and without question will start messing with time.
Yeah.
It's not a doubt.
That's what I'm saying.
There's not a doubt.
I don't
in my
mess with
mind.
no time.
I'd be the guy that brings a time machine through a time machine. I cannot be trusted with that power.
You turn on the time machine, right?
Right.
And then you put it in the time machine.
Right.
And then that time machine
you
is
can
going to be
break-
able to make it go back in time more.
Right.
It's great.
Yes.
It's fucking awesome.
It's pretty rad. But I just,
you just keep doing it.
as a warning,
over and over and over.
you know what my favorite time
And then
travel
you go
is?
see dinosaurs.
Do you count Groundhog Day as time travel?
No.
That's a causal loop.
I mean,
It's for one
technically
person.
every single thing in the entire world is time travel.
Oh, fuck you. We're traveling. We've been traveling for
Yeah, maybe it is
an
a
hour
time.
and 2 minutes.
Maybe it is a time travel
It's a loop movie. I like
Yeah.
Groundhog Day. I'd like a Groundhog Day
That's great.
situation.
That movie's great.
Yeah.
I would hate to be in that situation. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They did the math. It was like over 1 million days or something.
Yeah, like 10,000 years, something stupid.
Something horrifying.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, but let's get into that. What we're going to be getting into next week. Jacob, what
sir.
you got for me?
So I got you to read Jeff Lemire before. I got you to read The Underwater Welder.
Yes, you did.
But the thing that got me into Jeff Lemire is Sweet Tooth, and I don't
Lemire.
think that I got you. Shut up. I don't think that I got you to
I think we traveling through time and having this conversation on how to pronounce his
Lemire?
last- I think so.
Oh my god.
Lemire.
All right. Read Sweet Tooth. I got this big book.
Jesus, that's a big book of Sweet
Yeah,
Tooth.
it's the whole thing. You don't have to read the whole thing,
I
but
wasn't
read it.
Okay.
You're probably gonna get through. I would bet you get through like 2 or 3 of the books.
I feel like I started
was-
reading Sweet Tooth
Yeah.
years ago, but I have no recollection of
All
it.
right. Book 1 ends with me wanting to read book 2,
Uh-huh.
and then after book 2, I was hooked.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is one of my favorite comic books, and I don't know why I haven't gotten you to read it yet. So here we go.
Okay. It's not Sweet Tooth, the clown from Twisted Metal, which is amazing.
Your recommendation to me.
I did
should
love
have
Twisted Metal.
recommended this afterwards.
And we done Twisted
Damn.
Metal and Sweet Tooth at the same way.
Yeah. All right,
Battle
great.
of the Sweet Tooths. All right, I have a recommendation for Jake. which is a video game available to play. It's kind of funny that you started doing Baldur's Gate because I also, like you mentioned earlier, getting me into RPGs. I found an RPG that I am into. Currently playing it, also streaming it on Twitch, twitch.tv/FishTankIndustries if you want to come hang out. It is available on Nintendo Switch and Steam to buy, but is also on Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation Plus. So if you have those, you can get it for free. It's a 2023 role-playing game called Sea of Stars.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
So Sea of Stars.
Buddy, I want to play that game.
Full credit to this recommendation comes from YouTube channel and video game reviewer Gerard Khalil from The Completionist. These guys,
Jared Cale, the finisher.
Yes. Sabotage Studio is the indie studio that did it, and they had a game in 2018 called The Messenger, which I never played. But this game...
The Messenger, the ninja game?
Yes.
Oh, that game's great.
Uh-huh. So he played that game, reviewed it, and everything like that, and he reviewed this game, and he said, everyone should play this game, and he said he's completely biased because he knows these people.
Yeah.
And he might...
It looks awesome.
Yes.
It looks beautiful. I like the battle system.
Yeah, the battle system's great. It's turn-based, but also
action.
I guess it's kind of
points.
like the Chrono games that I never really played, or the Final Fantasy games.
It's not like Chrono. It's not like Final Fantasy.
It's
like Paper Mario.
Super Nintendo era is what it looks like.
Okay.
Yeah. So the characters in this are very great. You start as, let's get a little thing so I can get people to play it.
Start as boy.
No, you have two people.
You start as girl.
Valere and Zale. They are Solstice
Sisters?
warriors. No, boy and girl. They're Solstice warriors. Kids born on the solstice, you get taken to academy to train Solstice powers. She's got moon powers. He's got sun powers. And they have to go fight the evil that's in the land, all that stuff. But the game plays beautifully. The controlling of it, it's turn-based, so it's not as like input heavy as like a Hades or something like that.
Yeah.
But the way they have done this...
They have action timing.
Yes.
Yeah.
You hit at the right time to like
You get more
redeflect
damage.
stuff and everything like that. But the way this art style is done, this Super Nintendo aesthetic, and the
Beautiful
sort
pixel
of
art.
2.5D, everything like that, the pixel art and the way things move in the pixel art is beautiful. Like I would watch a TV show done in this art style.
I want to hit you with a word.
Yeah.
Parallax scrolling in this game.
It does have the parallax scrolling in the
It's
background.
so awesome.
I know that word because Strongbad said it in one of his emails.
That's great.
Shout out Homestar Runner. But yeah, Sea of Stars, it's available if you have PlayStation Plus or Xbox Game Pass, it's available free. It's a 3 gig download.
That's for
probably
free on PlayStation Plus, for real?
You got it. It's free. If you got PlayStation Plus, download it for free.
Okay.
It was day one free. It was a game that got such big previews and everyone like that.
You sure it's on PS Essential for free?
I've got the Plus. I don't know.
You don't have anything else?
I don't know.
Okay.
I pay for the things, Jacob.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. I'll quit grilling you.
All right, stop it. But play this game because it's fucking great. It was day one added on Xbox and PlayStation because everyone's like, hey, we really want people to play this.
It's going to be really hard playing two RPGs at once, bud.
Just give this probably...
Oh, I'm going to play it. Don't worry.
Yeah, wait until you get on the pirate ship. If you play till the pirate ship,
we'll have something to talk about.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to talk about Sweet Tooth by Jeff Lemire and
we
Sea
did
of
have this
Stars.
conversation. I do remember now. It is Lemire.
Fucking time travel.
But it's not going to happen anymore. It's Lemire.
Yeah.
It's going to stick like that. It's what I've been calling him since his Animal Man days. That's all I'm going to keep calling him.
You do you, man. All right, we're going to talk about that next week. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Love you, Jake. Thanks for coming over, bud.
Love you, buddy.
Bye.
Bye.